Please be seated. I give you a new commandment, that you love one another. Just as I have loved you, you also should love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another. So here we are, at last, with Jesus and his closest friends. Gone are the crowds, the healings, the miracles, the arguments with the Pharisees. All of it really comes down to this final evening, with just these 12 who have walked beside Jesus from the beginning, sharing both his trials and his triumphs. Now their time together is drawing to an end, and Jesus is preparing his disciples to carry on his work without him. In the 3 other Gospels, the focus of the last evening together is the Passover meal. In this Gospel, in the Gospel of John, the focus is on Jesus washing his disciples' feet. Only John gives us this particular story. It's shocking, really. Jesus, the revered teacher, takes on the lowliest role in the household. He has taken off his outer cloak, he wraps a towel around his waist, and kneels down to wash his disciples' dirty feet. And they were dirty. The streets of Jerusalem, unpaved in those days, were either dusty or muddy. Everyone, both man and beast, walked there, and there were no sewers. You can just imagine those feet. Peter is horrified to see his hero taking this position. He had come to believe that this Jesus was the long-awaited Messiah, so he protests. But Jesus tells him that if he doesn't allow him to wash his feet, he, Peter, can't really understand who Jesus is and who he is encouraging them all to become. This is a demo, a model for them to follow, a model for us, too. In English, the single word love can have many meanings, depending on the context. In Greek, love is expressed using 3 different words. Eros is physical love. Philios indicates friendship. Agape is more of a self-giving love. In the passage we heard tonight, John used that last word, agape. Of the 3 types of love the Greeks had words for, it's the hardest. It's the kind of love that takes you out of your comfort zone. It's the kind of love that takes risks. It's the kind of love that forces you to face your own fears and weaknesses and overcome them in order to care for another person, a stranger, or a beloved one. There was a time in my life when I had to face my own struggle with this difficult, self-giving love. It was all about feet. My husband Peter's feet. Many of you knew him. He was a good man. He was a good husband with a willing heart and a ready smile, but his feet were awful. Now, we all know that our hardworking feet do not improve with age, but his feet were worse than most. His feet and toenails were badly misshapen and looked peculiar due to frostbite on ski trips, persistent fungus, and poor circulation. As a diabetic, he had a podiatrist who took care of his feet several times a year, but there came a time when he needed more. In 2020, he was dealing with neuropathy, and because of issues with his back, he couldn't reach his feet to tend them anymore, to tend them himself. His feet got dry and the skin cracked easily. The podiatrist recommended a daily application of healthy feet to prevent the infections that come easily. Tending those awful feet became a new daily chore for me, and I gracious about it in the beginning. Every morning, grum myself, I had to get down on my knees, hold those calloused, ugly feet, check for broken skin or scabs, rub healthy feet into each foot, and get compression stockings on them. Then I had to get up, coping with my own creaky knees and a back that ached. It was a thoroughly unwelcome job, and I hated it. I wish I could tell you that my attitude shifted quickly. It didn't. But little by little, day by day, I began to see this chore differently. Strangely, it had become to feel more like love. On the surface, nothing changed. His feet still looked dreadful, my knees still complained, and my back still ached. But over time, and with God's help, I had changed. Well before the nurses took over my foot duty last summer, I realized that the dreaded daily duty had become almost like a sacrament. I began to look forward to those moments, and I miss them now. As you can see from my struggle, this agape love really doesn't act like a noun. It's a word that implies action. It's love with feet, legs, arms, and heart. It's a costly love Jesus models for us, his disciples, tonight. Notice that he washed everyone's feet, even the feet of Judas, who he knew would betray him later that same night. That's the kind of self-sacrificing love this new commandment points us toward. Just as I have loved you, you should love one another. I think we can only give that kind of love to others if we ourselves have received it and known it first. Unless I wash you, you have no share in me, Jesus says. Like reluctant Peter, we must allow our own feet to be washed by Jesus. Jesus will wash our feet with the living water only he can offer. Only Jesus will gently scrub off the encrusted grime of sin. Only Jesus can soften the bunions of unforgiveness and resentment. Only Jesus will buff off the bitter calluses of disappointment and anger. And only Jesus can wash away the stubbornness of our deepest fears. That's all the stuff that gets in the way of a deeper relationship with God and keeps us from offering service to others out of Christ-like love. But what holds us back from this divine pedicure? Why do we join Peter and say, "You will never wash my feet, Lord"? Perhaps our gospel tonight is not really about watching Jesus put his hands on somebody else's feet. Maybe instead, it's about letting Jesus put his hands on our feet. Not all of us want that. On the surface, we may say we are embarrassed by our less than perfect feet, but I wonder if deep down we know that if we allow Jesus to touch our feet, this might allow him to touch our will as well. Because after all, it's our will that directs where our feet take us. My friends, in 2025, when each new day seems to bring more challenges than the day before, we are still Jesus' disciples. We are still Jesus' disciples, and Jesus still provides this model for our service. I'm going to try something different now. I'm inviting you to close your eyes now and just imagine you're in that upper room. Imagine Jesus kneeling on the floor in front of you. Looking at you and loving you, he takes your bare foot in his hand, cupping your heel in his palm. Then he pours cool, clean water over your foot and into a basin. He gently washes first one foot and then the other. Your heart skips a beat as you realize in that moment that everything holding you back from sharing this self-giving love with others, the bitterness, the unforgiveness, resentment, disappointment, jealousy, anger, fear, it's all gone. All of it has been washed away by those loving hands. Then, looking directly at you, Jesus carefully towels each foot dry. As the towel does its work, you begin to recognize the gift in this act. It's an astonishing gift of love that you now can share with others. Finally, Jesus looks pointedly from you to your neighbor beside you, and with a gentle smile, he hands you the towel. Jesu, Jesu, fill us with your love. Show us how to serve the neighbors we have from you. Neighbors are rich and poor. Neighbors are black and white. Neighbors are nearby and far away. Jesu, Jesu, fill us with your love. Teach us how to serve the neighbors we have from you. These are the ones we should serve. These are the ones we should love. All our neighbors out to us and you. Jesu, Jesu, teach us how to love the neighbors we have from you.